Check this out. So, from Osh Park, I ordered 3 of these PCBs that I designed. And the idea here is that they're like an LED strip scaffold. So it holds 5 LEDs from your strip. And the reason for that is, to give it some structure, to give it a couple of mounting holes. So here I've got on the left and on the right, or top and bottom or whatever, 2 M3 standard screw drill holes so that you can attach this thing to whatever you want. And then, you get some pin header holes so you can put on some male pin headers. That makes it a little bit easier to attach to these things. Yeah, so I just wanted something, to give these some structure beyond the adhesive backing, so I could set up some LEDs and put them wherever I wanted. And let me show you how they go together. So you take one, and then you take your strip, and the first thing that you have to do is tin all of these connections, because these are what you're going to use solder to connect these connections to these holes here. And these don't have any electrical function. It's just using solder as glue, because everybody has solder around, so why not use what you got? So you tin all of these, you tin all of these, you tin these big pads, and then the strip just lines up like that. And I can't believe that these line up so well, because lining things up in Fritzing is not the easiest thing. But yeah, so those go through. And then the reason why these pads or these holes are through hole is so that the heat, so when you put it down and it's tinned in there, the heat can actually get through and melt the solder all the way to the pad and adhere it, right? And then on this side, on the end, there's actually, you can see the traces come through from the male pin header, this will go to your power and your whatever's controlling these things. And then these pads are so long so that you can easily just touch the tip of the soldering iron to the ends there, and it'll melt the solder all the way over to the first pads. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's not crazy complicated or anything. It's just a bunch of it's just a stiffer material to hold your PCBs, and then you can, or your LED strips. So anyways, I'm gonna solder one of these up and see if it works or not. Alright, here we go. I've uploaded the strand test, which is Adafruit's LED library, or whatever it is. Adafruit neopixel.h strand test. This is an example. So download that library and upload strand test. The two things, the two gotchas are number of LEDs and data pin. So you gotta change those two things. Oh, and you have to delete a couple of lines that are for a certain type of microcontroller, which I can't remember what that is. But anyways, check it out. Here we go. It's totally working. It looks really good on camera. You get those like X's that look pretty awesome. In person, these things are too bright to look directly at. It's like you end up with neopixels in your eyes. But yeah, I particularly like this animation where it's cycling through all the different colors. So I'd say this has been a success. I guess the next thing that I need to do is put these onto something, you know, use these M3 holes here on the ends to mount this, and then have kind of a semi-permanent dealio. Quite pleased so far. In the future, what I'd like to do is, you can kind of see here on the ends. Let's see if I bring this up close. Well, I'll just disconnect it. Up here, you see what... You see these guys. So this was part of a panel, and they all were a part of a panel, and then they're just broken apart with they're just separated, probably by hand. It's kind of hard to see maybe, but there's little tiny holes on here, and those are called mouse bites, and so these pieces break off. Let's see. Well, these pieces do break off. It's kind of hard to get a good grip on this little tiny thing, but so what I would like to do is make a panel. What I'd like to do is make a panel of these and have them side by side, and that way you can buy maybe, so there's 5 LEDs here, and so maybe you do 5 by 5, and then if you wanted to, you could wire up all of those, all of the panel, and then you'd have yourself a grid, you know? So that's more useful. Or you break them apart and then you have one at a time. And I think that would make these way more useful, more flexible anyways. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. This is my proof of concept, and so far it's passed. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.